Okay, I'm finally ready. I did an extension on my boom crutch because Dee wants the awning out. So we're just motoring today. Test out the electric motor. So there it is in the up position, and it should be interesting. Well, let's get that around for now. We just have a short ways to go. Lights are working, so forth. So there's how it looks out of the shed standing back. So it's not as ugly as a motor bracket. And now I'll keep the motor bracket on there for now. I may keep it on forever, just because then should range be an issue, like right now for day sailing, I'm expecting, let's see, at 2 to 3 knots, I hope to get like a full day of running with this. It's 12 right now. I have it at 12 volts, and it's okay. I have 2 different size batteries, which I didn't fess up to. My son had to go climbing with a canoe and a battery and a trolling motor, so I was wanting to buy a 105 amp hour battery, which is what the one I have in the boat is, and but I felt it would with all the climbing equipment. It was a stern back canoe, so fairly stable and everything, but nonetheless, more weight was not good. So I went and bought a 75 amp hour battery just for them, frankly, to take the trip. But now, you know, I don't have always endless funds, so at any rate, I have I'm using both. So my understanding is they'll discharge fine, but when charging, it'll want to charge up to the larger size. So my plan is to unhook the bigger one and let it charge them both individually for now, and eventually solar panels, and eventually I'm saving up. I've got we have Canadian Tire here in Canada, so I'm saving up my Canadian Tire money to buy the bigger battery, and then I'll have 205 amp hour batteries, and that'll equal 210 amp hours. Now with the dinghy, we were trolling and fishing all day, like for, you know, at least 2 full days and over a 3-day long weekend. And the battery only started running out, and that was a smaller battery, only started running out toward the end of the holiday. So depending how you use the electric motor, you should get fairly decent range. So we're going to try upriver first, and that'll be a slow run, but if it does it, awesome. And then I got GPS, so I'll average my speed coming back as well. And boat's a wee bit on the dirty side, but that's not the point. Okay, so we will get going, see if Dee's ready, and Dee wants the luxury of the houseboat. But it has a bathroom, and it has privacy curtains that can go up. So, you know, this is actually, I designed it for husband and wife sailing. So I think cobwebs, like I say, first time out this season with this girl. And I love the form, so, but she's dusty. So staying back. And cool. And our rose is tucked in over there, just for your information. I have it in my pouch. Okay, exciting. This is only at 24 volt, like I say, 12 volt. We're going to be, take care. So first time the electric drive's working.
Well, you can't see who's coming.
I can see. And we're going against the wind. Okay, and here's what it looks like. So it is working beautifully. So this is we're actually against wind. If you look at the willows, we're going against wind and wave. Now the only thing is, being that the prop is offset, I have to counter with the rudder a little bit, but that might also be because of the wind. But we're moving decent.
I know.
Decent. Not fast, decent.
This is how Oh, did I just keep
This
on
is
flipping
awesome. Yeah, or just lift it, and put it down. There you go. It's got a little, that's what those little knobs are for. So nice that Dee's coming with me.
I like the face so I can see.
The pace is, oh, face. Ah, I see. So like I say, the only thing is I have to counter the rudder a little bit. So that's not as efficient as it could be because we're pushing off one side. But the shielding's working beautifully. All the force is going down below. Oh, I do have to check if there's any water coming in. No water coming in. Okay, so there's the motor turning. And it's cutting along. We got our cushions in the way a bit, but that's okay. And we're cruising along. It's giving us a push. So I'd say we're not going terribly fast. So that'll help when we put the 24 volt on. But like I say, we're going against current and wind right now. So I'll GPS it, and I'll half the difference between GPS and wind against current, and the GPS with wind and current. So we'll try both. Okay.
Yes.
But I'm pretty pleased.
Where did you put the...
Okay, sadly, 2 points. One, our speed was not great. 1.5, I'd say average, but this is upstream and against wind because you see we're moving along now. I should actually turn it on again downwind just to get a true measure of our speed. So we'll do that, but it is overheating. The wires are getting hot. I can smell them getting a wee bit on the hot side. So I'm just going to run it a little bit again downwind, just to get a speed and then report back. But I think, frankly, a different motor perhaps, and the proper controller, but I also notice it's very difficult to steer, especially with the boom crutch in to hold the mast up because I don't have enough range of steering. So the nose was being pulled offline there, and it was getting blown to shore, and then it became difficult. I had to remove the one while Dee's holding on to it, the one extended crutch there, so that we could turn properly. So I'm not that thrilled. It's really not working any better than my 32-pound thrust electric motor did for all the effort. And it has the steering because it was on a bracket on the back there. So I think we are going to return to that concept. Plug the poor hole and go from there. I'm not happy with, I expect a lot more speed, so I'm not happy with that. Compare what the true potential speed is. But again, I'm having to steer crazy with it offset like that to correct. So that's not bad. Now I can straighten out the rope. I could unclip the rope, but at any rate. So, you know, it looks promising. It's not cavitating, so that's good news. So some things did work. And we are going now, well, 2.5, 2.1, 2.2,
With the wind.
2.2, 2.3 with the wind. So there's a 0.5 mile an hour. So we were going about 2 miles an hour. But I'm going to unhook now. And we're just going to coast back anyway. So, well, I don't need to row, really. We can just take our time and coast. Yeah. Yeah, you want to hold that?
Still on?
Yeah. So, but we're smelling burning rubber,
yeah.
so that's the wires. So people, no need. Look at us go.
All right.
Look at us go. We're sailing right now. Okay, sometimes you put a lot of effort into an idea, and it doesn't work. Technically, this motor is a 24 volt, so for this motor, people are correct that it doesn't handle the low wattage or low voltage very well. So good to know. I could, my alternative idea was to get a larger electric motor. Like mine's a 32-pound thrust, and it moves the boat, but it doesn't move it very well. So my thinking was initially to get a bigger motor, and I could actually dismantle it and mount it here, so I'd have the off drive. I thought the off drive would be an advantage because I figured the so we're just straightening her out. See, that's the beauty of doing a test upstream. So you can learn a lot from fails, and this is a failed idea.
Shaking it too much.
Off-centered and off-centered, and the type of motor I have, it unfortunately is not working. So if I would have been doing 3 miles an hour with the same concept, then I think, and I had a bit better steerage, I definitely would have said, yep, it's a go. But no. Oh, D-turn, push the rudder the other way. Push hard. There you go. Because I don't want to get into these guys. Oh, look at us go now. Okay, you can videotape. Stay away from those guys because they're cranky. Fishermen, you know, in fairness, I try to avoid them, but I didn't want to get out in the middle of the channel because this is a test. We're going to be in boat traffic, right? It's the last time that electric motor ever will be.
Okay, be careful how you jump out. Oh boy. It is going to stay here? No, no.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Get your oars up.
Tight fit.
Well, you should have had your oars up. Oh well.
Well, it wasn't the oars, it was the awning.
So he's going to tie up. We're done for today. He checked what he needed to check. So he's going to tie up. There's a nice post. I see the post.
Oh, yeah. There is.
Gonna tie it up to the post there.
Trick question. Yeah, no, the old original trolling motor worked better than that did.
Yeah.
Oh, my keys are.
For all the hold on.
Yeah,
All the effort you did.
yeah.
So you can plug the hole, okay, right?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I'm thinking of just doing a plug so that it can be a drain, a secondary drain plug. Because let's say I'm getting rain.
Yeah.
Right now, I have that drainage pipe.
Here.
I have that drainage pipe arranged. So if I take the motor out, then the drainage pipe ends up being above the water line. So if ever the cockpit fills, it will drain overboard, which is worth it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So the electric motor, you're not talking about a battery. You're talking about getting a new electric, the big electric.
A bigger
motor.
electric motor. I'll look for a used one.
Yeah.
Or see if somebody has one that I can borrow.
Roy will have to see. You know how,
But the point being is the 32-pound worked. So a 50-pound electric motor attached to the rudder. See, I have a little rudder bracket back here. And I had modified my little one so that the controller was off to one side. So if I take the head right off and wire it up so that it's somewhere else.
How do I get out of here?
Same way you got on, actually. Yeah, take the oars off and put them in.
Okay, oh yeah.
And then, you can drop this this down, put the thing back in its slot. Yeah. Put that back in its slot. Oh, I've connected the I always connect my oars so I don't lose them. So that's,
what am I doing? Oh, yeah.
you're putting oars in the cabin.
All right.
Well, why didn't you just go in with that end?
I don't know.
Just stick it straight in, it'd be the easy way. So you have to unclip the other oar,
Hold on.
And you can go straight in. On a diagonal is fine. Just in is key. The wet blades then aren't on the seats. Yeah, yeah, toss them in.
So when we go traveling,
Yeah. Okay, I'll go get the car.
you want to put these in? You don't want these to go anywhere?
Well, don't. Yeah, just put them here for now. It really doesn't matter at the moment because, like I say, I have to rework things. Although those, like for the electric motor, those clips will work.
Wait
So
until I come out, okay?
you want to come out, you sit, get yourself seated, and then hop in off the rail here.
Okay.
Get your legs out and around. See your. Oh, sorry, dear.
What?
Um,
No, nobody see me because it's a dress.
No, I'm videotaping.
Oh.
Yeah, see that work?
So this is it, right? So when you travel
Yeah.
back.
Well, I have to travel slowly because it hit a bump at rocks, right? I should have tagged it with a screw at the base to keep it in. Okay.
You can take it down now, right?
No, I
You can take the awning.
Oh, I could. Bruce Bowles, Bruce and the boys. There's my buddy Bruce is cruising along. See if you just dedicated yourself to gas. Yeah, I guess so. If you just dedicated yourself to gas, you'd be all good. So you're in my YouTube videos, Bruce, Deb, family. All right, loves, sign off. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Visit
Design.com.
for failed mistakes.